we are live. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Today in Millenia podcast, the most important podcast on the planet, as they say. And I am, of course, your most grateful, I'm supposed to lean this way, somebody told me, grateful and gracious host, Nicholas Pierre. I am joined across and to my left by our very own, oh, you're nervous, our very own Pakistani princess, the great and wonderful Miss Maheen Sabani. How are you?
I'm great, how are you?
I'm wonderful. I had a great day today, so I'm feeling good. I'm going to be less mean, I think. To a lot of people. I'm hoping. We'll see. Who knows? Sometimes I get fired up. And of course, hailing all the way from the great city of Union City, New Jersey. I know that's where you're from. I can only guess. And via Honduran, right?
Yeah.
All right. Via Honduras. How do you say it, though? Honduras. Via Puerto Rico, via everywhere in New York you can live, Mr. Alexio Fast Hands Rivera. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
You got it. I didn't even know Honduras, right? Honduras,
yeah.
At that.
Central America.
It's okay, Central America. You're Ecuador?
Near, it's further north from Ecuador, but yeah.
From Patchogue, South Ecuador.
I think once you get into Ecuador, it's now South America.
Okay. Oh, all right. So, I don't know anything about geography. That's good to know. That'll have to be corrected, but that'll be for next week. And that leads us right into, of course, Corrections Corner. I think I only have really one big one. I do have one that I'm trying to work on clearly and look at the camera, but Alexio is right. All right, we killed the buffalo. But I would like to add a fact that I read. We were not very good at hunting the buffalo. Well, I was correct on how good that the Native Americans were at hunting the buffalo. What we would do, though, is what we realized is that buffalo, this is what I read, that they would surround other dead buffalo. Like they're very herdish kind of thing. Yeah. And so what the colonialists would do is just mass execute them in hopes that the Native Americans could no longer eat, and then that would cause mass execution to them. So interesting fact there. So they weren't actually hunting them. So the colonialists were not hunting to eat the buffalo; they were just killing them to hopefully starve out a group of people, which is horrible. But hey, life is horrible, right? And here we are. Here we all are. All we can do now, Beanie, is be better.
That's fair.
That's it. We can just try to be better, right? And we just don't starve people out. As long as we do things like that, I think that we'll be much better off.
We should be good, yeah.
So what are we starting with today? We'll get right into it.
Speaking of starving people out, right?
Yeah, it's actually a good segue.
Really?
Yeah.
Full circle on Today in Millenia. I say it all the time.
It's just like we're all connected somehow. It's crazy. No, so I wanted to, I know like for Beauty Corner for the last couple of weeks we talked about like things that I just think are funny, aka butthole tanning and
taint tanning.
You know.
It's a coined phrase, so you have to say it correctly.
And then the Peloton girl and all this, publicity she's gotten afterwards and everything. But now, just because, well, when we talk about like identity or talk about like on a more serious note, like I identify as a Muslim person. I am Muslim, right? So Pakistani, American, Muslim, female, right? So like a minority in every sense, I think. And so I wanted to draw some attention to what's happening in India right now, and I'm not fully educated on it, so I wanted to do some more research. And what's cool is that celebrities, South Asian celebrities, are drawing light to what's happening to Muslims in India, which is basically that, I don't want to say
India
this, but I want to
part
say
Hindu, right?
Okay, wow, okay.
Is that correct?
So India is a country, right? And the
I know
majority,
it's a country.
yeah. But
I mean,
the majority of
religion is
people,
split,
actually the majority of people are a lot of a mixture of religions. There's 200 million Muslims in India, which is a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
It would be 2/3 of our country if that was here.
If that was here, yeah. But in India, there's like 3 billion of them.
There's so many
there's
people.
a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people.
That's wrong. We'll correct that. But.
So what's okay, fix it next week. So what's happening is that people who might not have citizenship, right? How to put this in like the most cohesive way, right? Like people who don't have citizenship in India are going to be granted citizenship if they are Hindu, Christian, Jain, Sikh, all religions but Islam.
No, you can keep talking, because
okay.
the recording's still going. I was just nervous about the video.
Okay.
I thought you just screwed it up. We'll cut them together, it's okay.
Okay, but so so let's start with this, right? So I'm gonna go to my notes because I wanted to like learn a little bit more about this and like, right? So it's the Citizenship Amendment Act, and so I'm just stole this from Instagram. It's a law which recently passed, which grants citizenship to Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jains, and Christians who are fleeing religious persecution from neighboring countries. However, the law excludes Muslims. And so, with that being said, right, like the neighboring countries to India are Muslim countries, right? There's Bangladesh, there's Pakistan, and people who are seeking asylum or who have sought asylum years and generations ago aren't going to be granted or possibly could be revoked of their citizenship. Which means
so the people who are already there could be revoked.
For sure. And then that means people are left stateless, homeless, you know, and not with any rights, which is kind of fucked up.
Kinda. That's craziness. What are we going to do with 200 million people is my first question.
Right. And there's already so many countries that are seeking asylum in so many other places, right? Like
of course they
Syria.
want to do it here, right? In Syria and Syrian refugees. Which sometimes I feel like it's a good idea on paper, but I do understand why some countries don't welcome it, maybe why we didn't welcome it, especially from a country like Syria, a warring country, but we're in war with them, whereas India hosting a 200 million Muslims is what you're saying, revoking their citizenship and then also not allowing them to, even if they don't revoke it, it's kind of strange to not let people, it's not strange to not let people seek religious freedom in your country. That's not strange. If that's your choice, then that's your choice. But I think it's strange to open up the books to, what did you list off? What other religions? Anyone,
basically everybody else. Yeah.
Anybody else except for a group that makes up what sounds to be like a fourth, or I'm supposed to be like an eighth maybe, or a fifth of their entire country, right? Yeah. 200 million to a couple billion, a gigantic portion, and just not going to bring those people in. And what is this like a policy that they're thinking about putting through, or is this through, or what is this?
So it's called Citizenship Amendment Act. It's a policy that has been worked on for like the last month or so, but there's a ton of people that are protesting it silently, you know, peacefully protesting it, you know, as far as people across the board when it comes to different religions. So it says like more than 700 Indian personalities, lawyers, academics, and actors have signed a statement categorically condemning the CAA. And the peaceful protests include way, way, way more people than that. So people realize it's wrong. It's not okay. But the point is that still in 2019, like this is still something that's coming up where it's like, let's create some sort of discrimination. Let's point fingers. Let's create rift, which is just not. There's no point of it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I heard someone say this earlier today in a different podcast, and they said when America sneezes, when the U.S. sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold. And they were comparing, you know, just Donald Trump and some of the anti-Muslim rhetoric that he would just kind of spew out to what's going on in the UK with their prime minister that looks like the spitting image of Trump.
Well, yeah, and they went, so that we should let people know though before you even continue. So they went away from the Labour Party, which is really just their left-wing party, and voted in somebody on, I don't want to give you the wrong name, but somebody basically on what would be the right side of their political standpoint. My dad's fired up about it, which means I know he's got a hard right president, this guy, or whatever it is, prime minister. So I've heard this guy is pretty a little bit more honestly serious, because when you think about, you know, Trump, it's a lot of the things that he says, but it's very tough to enact laws like that in this kind of country. Yeah. Whereas in England, it gets a little bit easier when the prime minister is on board and everyone's on board. And I think that that's probably what's going on in India. I don't know much about Indian politics.
The president there or their prime minister, I'm not too sure what
their in India.
Their prime minister in India
Modi
is very like kind of nationalist, just like, you know, Hindu is first and everything, you know, comes second. So,
which is fine, but why invite everyone else? Why not just be your own country, which I'm all about, you know? But if you've already got people in it, I mean, that's part of your country. And I think that we do a good job at least accepting the people that are already here. And you're right, though. It's like when the U.S. does something, everyone else is going to do it a little bit more. You know, everyone else is going to go a little bit further. But if you just want your own country to be a nationalist country, why not just do that? Why open up the borders to anyone who wants to escape religious prosecution except for people?
It's almost like backtracking at this point, which is the weird part, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. Like the Indian Prime Minister, from what I've heard, from what I've seen, you know, just I'm not gonna say like I know this, but just like so you guys know, there's a term Hindustan, right? Like the area of Hindus, right? Like Hindustan, like Pakistan, pure for Muslims. Like that's like if you roughly translate it, that's what it would go down to. And people, you know, like Hindu Indians who have that national pride, which they should. It's your country. You of course have pride for it.
Yeah.
You know, they call themselves Hindustani, and that's never been a bad thing. I've never looked at it in a negative way, and now it's kind of scary. It's a little scary.
What I don't get is, so are these 200 million Muslims that are already there, are they citizens of the country of India?
The way the law works is that they are, so what they're looking at is people who are coming in, like refugees from Iraq, Afghanistan, you know, all these different places. And they're saying what their argument is, or not their argument, it's just the president there, or their prime minister. What his argument is that these individuals that are coming from different countries, these refugees, are facing persecution, right? But Muslims aren't. So that's the reason why we're gonna let these guys in and have them have an easier way to citizenship here, because the Muslims aren't facing that. But the countries that these people are coming from, it's not so, it's just their whole situation, right? Their whole lives. It's not just the religious part, it's just where they're coming from. It's war, it's famine, it's natural disasters, it's all these different things.
The thing that creates such a bad rep for Muslims is the fact that the people in these countries that are doing such harm claim Islam. That's the and they can't clearly be practicing Muslims. I mean, it's a very peaceful religion, though. There's nothing in that book that says you can kill other Muslims, but they do it all the time. There's nothing in that book that says you should go to war with other Muslims, or you should ever. I mean,
it's just how you interpret it. So if you look at Christians in the time where they were doing the Crusades, they're interpreting the Bible, and that's their reasoning to just mow down all these non-Christian towns and build up Christian towns, right? So it's similar in that they're interpreting, you know, these words in this way, where 99% of people aren't, but all it takes is that small percentage to.
Well, and I know she's gonna be listening and won't be happy, but I had a long argument with our mutual friend one night about, the Syrian refugee issue, and she was very upset to hear that I wasn't all for it, and because, she knows people in Syria who are good people and are the right kind of Muslims and the kind that we want here, and my whole point against it, and it could be controversial or not, but the idea behind the Muslim ban originally is that it may sound so terrible to say out loud, but it was that one American life is not worth any amount of any other country's lives. And you could say that that's right, you could say that that's wrong, but at the time, if you're in war with a country, allowing people to come over here with the chances of one bad person slipping through the cracks that could cost one American life, to me at the time was not worth it, and still isn't. And I can see why countries decide to be nationalist, but I think that your point is more on the fact that it's just downright prejudice. It's not that they don't want anyone in their country. That I would understand. If India was like, hey, anyone from these countries here that are warring with each other, you're not allowed to come on in here, we're putting a ban on it. That's one thing. Putting the term Muslim on it is where, honestly, I have a problem with it, and then obviously you have a problem. I would have rather Syrian ban. It's fine with me.
Right. Well,
it makes more sense.
It would make more sense.
I understand
That. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. It's just that little bit of like, why is there another thing where it's like, okay, because of who you are, because of the religion that you practice, this is not a thing that you're allowed to do anymore. You're not allowed to claim this as your state anymore.
Yeah. And what makes it so extreme, what makes it so crazy, is that they have religious freedom there. right there. So it's like if someone was proposing a bill here that was prejudiced against
that would
group,
go through, right?
Right, people who wear hats backwards.
Right.
You know, you'd be like, what?
What are you nuts?
They'd be up in arms.
Even
There's a whole group of people.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, who still
But
does that?
fuck people who wear their hats.
Yeah, if you wear your hat back.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding. But no, you know, and it's so. But it's a good point. Is that luckily we live in a country where we're advanced enough to realize that, you know, we can make a ban maybe just to protect the country for a certain period of time, but in terms of turning on people who are Americans, regardless of what religion that they practice.
I'd like to bring up the Muslim ban.
No, I know. I said putting the religion on top of it became the problem. If I were the president, I'd ban every human being that lives inside of those countries until the war's over. And you could say I'm an asshole for it or not, but I don't think protecting American lives makes me an asshole. I think that the time when you put the word Muslim on it, it brings up that if you sneeze, everybody else gets sick thing that you were saying, because of the fact that they put that term on it. Would have been a lot nicer to say anyone involved in any country where ISIS is inside of, you cannot come to America until the war's over, because we can't run the risk of one of them could sneak in through the cracks. Because these are bad people. These are extremists.
For sure.
And they claim Muslim religion, and you cannot doubt that. It's just not a doubtable thing. And you can't disagree with it, but you also, you're right, putting that term on it, that it's a Muslim ban, like it's almost as if like, oh, if you decide you're not Muslim but you're from Syria, you can come. Like, what does that even mean? Because I mean, to be quite honest, while we're still at war with ISIS and in that area in the Middle East, I don't want any of them. I don't care if you claim you're Muslim or not.
And
you know what I mean?
And going back to the point, it's people that have been living there for generations as well that are included in this. It's just that they have to be able to prove that in, I think the year was 1951, when they originally did this like census-like thing, is if you have proof of your ancestors being here in 1951, then that's a possibility of you being able to claim your citizenship.
That's another crazy thing about it, right?
But that's the last time, 1951.
Was the
So
last time
if you have records, so let's just say you're a Muslim.
This is in India, of course.
Yeah.
Let's just say you're an Indian in
A Muslim in India.
Muslim in India.
If I can't trace my ancestors,
If you can't trace it all the way back there to prove that you were a citizen,
I'm out.
You don't have your citizenship.
Well, listen, I got a wake up call for India. We ain't taking them, and nobody else is either. They're your people. They're Indians. They're from India, and you need to take care of them. They're 200 million. We're not talking about 25,000. As if it's 25,000, we'll take them right here. The reason they put the ban on in the first place is because the number one religion in the world is Islam. It's the number one religion in the world. We can't handle them. We can't even handle what we got here. We could barely hang out. We got this guy building a wall down here, whatever they're doing, you know? And listen, I'm not an open borders guy, not even close. I mean, I don't think we need to scream and yell about building a wall. I think we just need to get better at taking care of our own borders. But to say that we could take them all in, or anyone could take them all in, it's just downright ridiculous. And that's why, when we had that conversation, just getting her to understand that point of the fact that I believe not one American life, and she took it so, as Muslim, but your life is not worth letting. And whether you disagree with me that letting a Syrian in, I'm Muslim, you should let them in, I would still be like, to protect you, Beanie, I'm not letting them in. We're not letting them in. Because it's an American life, I think, is how I hope that everyone looks at it. Because honestly, religion, no, I'm just kidding. I believe that people should be Americans first, or whoever their countrymen are first, and religion, I mean, I've said it a million times already, it should play no part in policy. When it comes up, prejudice comes out of it, and things come out of it, so it's just an ongoing story, I'm assuming?
I mean, it's pretty fresh.
Yeah, it's pretty fresh. I mean, another thing that's happening when it comes to that topic is in China, they're rounding up Muslims. They're literally rounding them up and putting them in what they call re-education camps. They're basically concentration camps. And they're saying it's for the good of the country to re-educate them, but there's just working camps.
Yeah.
They're literally, what did you say, that they're going door to door?
Oh my God, yeah. So in Borders.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, no, in Borders. So I read an article about how people are, the people that have, the Chinese Muslims that left China, gone into different countries, but that are bordering China. People are coming door to door in those areas and saying, if you have a child that is of Chinese ancestry, right? Like national, whatever. I'm not really sure what the wording is. But if you have a child that kind of fits this criteria, this mold, they can come to our schools. They can get all this great stuff. But really, it's a way to gather information and use it for evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, China's its own fucking problem. I can say anything bad I want to say about China because they'll never play my podcast over there. They wouldn't play the goddamn NBA no matter how much money they make of it. So, and I have tons of issues with China, and I think to even hold China to a standard is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, if you talk about a nationalistic country, it's them. And you gotta hang your hat to them. I mean, they've been around for thousands and thousands of years. They're very proud to be Chinese, and it makes a lot more sense, honestly. The Indian thing throws me off, but I think something you mentioned early on is that Bollywood's huge. It's almost as big as Hollywood. It's right there. So if they're behind it and they're not agreeing with it, and it's just kind of this one centralized idea, hopefully it dies away. But yeah, I agree. I think that when we made the ban, it should have been on specific countries, not a specific religion inside of that country. That set a bad precedent right off the bat. I think another thing though, just like if you remember, and it may be controversial as well, Beanie, but if you remember with the Black Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter, the big problem I had and a lot of people had with the police was that they were kept claiming their own, even though their own were wrong, and they weren't turning on them, and nobody was coming out and saying this is wrong. And I think that we need to be better as people, but also it's going to take a big fight from real Muslims that really believe that this religion is a peaceful religion. You have to disown these people inside of these countries, this whole country, whatever. Yeah. You have to disown them, because the more that you claim Muslims, that's how they keep getting grouped in. And I think that groups like ISIS shouldn't even be considered Muslims, because if you read the book, it doesn't even line up.
Well, and I agree, but I also want to just throw in that it's not just us, as a Muslim community coming together. Like, I'm happy to say that I've seen a lot about, no matter what background, religious background, whatever the case is, like, this is wrong.
Yeah. No, it stems all from religion. And I'm hoping, hopefully within the next 10, 15 to 20 years, we can remove the idea of religion having anything to do with human. I mean, Trump's trying to put in that Jews are their own nationality now. I wasn't a big fan of that at all. What's the point? I just don't get what the point is. You register inside of a country, whatever country you register inside of, that's what you are. Don't claim it. If you don't claim it, then go somewhere else. I don't care where you go. If you don't like how you're treated there, that's fine. But once we start bringing religion into it and making it its own thing, I think it gets super dangerous. It gets dangerous because, as I say all the time, and I'm not just talking about the Christians, it's a lot of dark it's magic is what it is. You can believe whatever you want, but I mean, nobody's seen any of this stuff. It's all belief, and it's all something that's not in front of us. And I feel like involving an entire planet in something that no one can see in front of them and everyone feels differently about, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous is what it is. It should have no place inside of policy.
Yeah, I think it's a little scary, actually.
It's terrifying.
If you take a leader of a nation and they believe a certain thing, like, are you making decisions based off of that?
No, you can't. You shouldn't be able to.
Right.
It was my problem with Rashida Tlaib. It's my problem with this guy, clearly. It's my problem with anyone who's going to drive decisions based on their religion belief. That's like running a business based on your emotional beliefs.
Sure.
None of that stuff works. Yeah. We're running a country here. Thankfully we have reincarnated devil himself there. Like, you're never gonna hear no religion stuff coming out of that monster. But he borders the line of making others. The same thing with the global warming. When the leader of the free world said something, he has to understand
it matters.
The weight that it carries. And but again, I think that it all comes down to the fact that, I mean, ISIS stands for the Islamic State of the Iceland and Syria. That's what it stands for. And they're claiming it. They are claiming that they are the same as you. And I think we need to start to create a disconnect, a strong disconnect. From both sides, from everyone, from non-religious people like myself to people who truly follow it and believe in what it is. And if you know me, if there's any white kid on this planet that's known a lot of Muslims, I'm the one of them. I've had a whole team of 15 of them. I dated one. I mean, I've known enough of them. I understand the religion pretty well, honestly, for someone who doesn't practice it. And from what I see, Yeah, you guys got some hocus pocus that I wouldn't do myself, but it's a peaceful religion if you follow it correctly. A very peaceful religion. So we took about 20 minutes on that. We don't want to get too
No, let's not get too crazy.
But we'll keep you posted. But that's obviously, but obviously Islamic fundamentalists in this whole idea that they're gonna destroy the whole world. It's common practice and it's common talk. And Maheen says they're not. Pops, they're not. All right, you heard?
Take it from her.
Yeah. And but that idea I think needs to be stopped, and it stops with religion. That's my standpoint on it, and this is all my opinion, so I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. I'm just saying that my standpoint on it is once we remove religion from any sort of law, policy, business, or anything, it gets better. You want to practice religion, go somewhere where they do that and do it there. And I don't want to hear about it when you get out, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
That's the truth. Do we have anything next?
Yes, we do. I figure we lighten it up a little bit after that, and we're gonna go with the next topic. That's with it or nah.
All right, with it or not.
The first one is the World Chase Tag Championships.
What?
Exactly.
Chase tag?
Yeah, chase tag.
I could probably win that shit.
We'll play like a little clip of it here.
I mean, they're competing over everything these days.
Yeah.
Look at this. Oh, I've seen this. No, this shit is awesome. Oh yeah, I watch this all the time. Anytime it's on. Yeah, the one guy's got to get the other guy before he gets out of the.
Yeah, so there's two teams.
And he's got a parkour.
The only way,
look at that parkour, baby.
These guys are intense.
Parkour. Look at these guys.
Do you know how to get points?
Tag them?
No. The only way you get a point is if you evade them for 20 seconds.
Oh, so you only get points on defense.
Yeah.
So they're claiming it's easier to tag somebody than it is to get away. So this guy just did it. Evasion!
Yeah, so he gets a point. So his team gets a point, and then they have like 10 rounds or so.
Yeah.
Whoever has most points at the end.
Oh, I can say this quickly. I'm with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 100% with it. Are you?
I'm not. This is a sport that you learn when you're in kindergarten. And no. I think any sport that you can't make money on that's on TV, they should just get rid of it.
Well, anything that's on YouTube you can make money on. There's 1.3 million views on this video.
This kid personally is not making
100%. He's probably sponsored by some kind of tag parkour thing.
This is kind of like a professional bowler. You know how much a professional bowler makes? 30 grand?
So what?
34 grand?
So intrigued.
You're intrigued, right? It's like American Ninja Warrior. Yeah, it's not a bunch of money in it, but I think that it's awesome. Like, good for you, dude. You want to be the best at chasing people in a fucking jungle gym? Then go ahead. Be the best at whatever you want to be.
I got a little intense there.
Anybody who wants to be the best they can be, I'm all about it.
The best they can be.
That's it, man.
And
This guy's trying to be the best at running away from people. And he just did you dirty. Did you see how you just jumped through that thing? Like,
yeah, he did.
Split it up.
These guys are fast.
I can, it's super impressive. That's my thing. Is like I'm with it because it's impressive. I can't do it. So if you can do something I can't do,
an age limit, you said?
If you can do something I can't
move
do.
like that anymore.
Speaking of sports, if you notice my red shirt at home on YouTube, I just want to give a shout out to Tiger Woods and the United States team for taking home the President's Cup this past weekend. Give a round of applause to that. Taking on the international team, beating Ernie Els and his international squad. Love those golf events, though. They don't get too, it's always friendly. It's always good. It's always a good time. And Tiger Woods, man, just being a fucking winner. Sorry, I interrupted the winner. No, oh my God, we are recording. So if you're not watching this on YouTube, these people are running around doing hardcore parkour inside of a jungle gym, and they're basically just chasing each other down. And Andy's tight and nice. Like Andy's good. Last time Andy couldn't get caught, and this time he's looking like he's gonna be doing the catching because he's just a quick little sucker. Look at him. Uh-oh, Andy. Get him, Andy. Yeah, we got him in 12 seconds. Time to spare.
Time to spare. You could have got a couple.
I'm with it. What about you?
I don't know. I mean, I'm very intrigued.
If you're intrigued, you're with it.
I guess so. I didn't want to be.
I mean, we're staring at it going on 4 minutes now, so I think we're all with it.
Fair enough.
All right, fair enough. So if you didn't check that out, that'll be World Chase Tag. Look that up on YouTube. They got 1.3 million views on this best chase compile. Yeah, dude.
Is that a girl?
I don't think so. I think it's a dude.
I think it's a dude with the.
I think
it is a chick. Yeah. Look at that. Co-ed sport. Oh man,
I'm not really with it. I'm not really with it now.
Oh man.
You guys almost had me the with it, but nah.
All right, what's next on with it?
Next one, Top Gun 2,
I'm
Maverick.
Already not.
Already nah.
I'm definitely nah.
Have you seen Top Gun 1?
No.
Why not?
Because I it just looks so boring.
Boring? It's an action movie. The original, like one of the original action movies. One of the greatest action movies ever. It may or may not have some homoerotic scenes in it, and I'm not going to be the one to say it, the first one, but...
I say it.
You just said it.
It definitely does have a woman.
I said it, but there's a little bit of that going on in there, but listen, it's Top Gun, man. It's Tom Cruise. It's freaking, it is what it is, man.
I just heard so many, like, pop culture references. That's the only reason I even knew that Tom Cruise is in it, but it just looks...
It's the Iceman, it's Goose, it's Maverick, it's fucking time to play it. Alright, so we're playing the trailer
This
here
is a
for
long
anyone
trailer. This
listening.
is 2 minutes. We're not going to play the whole thing.
Alright, we're just going to play the beginning of it.
But it looks boring.
Who's in it?
I think he's an instructor.
Combat medals.
Is Tom Cruise in it?
Mhm.
Yeah, so he's the
instructor.
He's
Yeah,
the instructor.
he's back.
He's the Top Gun instructor. Which makes sense. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah, they're just like, the best.
Won't retire.
He's the best.
Despite your best efforts, you refuse to die.
Oh yeah. Tom Cruise just pumping. Just fucking pumping.
Yeah.
Look at that aircraft carrier.
Look at that aircraft carrier.
Oh, you got Ed Harris in here.
What is that wrinkly old man?
It's Ed Harris.
He's
Wrinkly
so
old
wrinkly
man,
this
dude.
time around, though.
Tom Cruise don't look too unwrinkly himself. Is Val Kilmer in it? No, Val Kilmer dies.
In the first one, Iceman dies. He's also so fat.
So you guys are not with it?
No.
You're not with Top Gun.
I mean, we're a minute into this and nothing.
So the trailer sucks. It only sucks for you guys because you didn't see the first one.
I'm really gonna see all of it now.
Like, I'm pumped right now. Like,
it's
that's
just
Maverick ripping down the freaking airstrip, dude, on his motorcycle, as per usual. Got John Hamm in it as the new instructor. Oh, man, I'm watching it for sure. 150%. I am with it. It looks like I'm swinging on my own team this week because
Yeah.
nobody is agreeing with anything that I have to
I
say.
mean, I agreed with the hardcore
They're
parkour.
just-
You
This
didn't.
is-
You said you were on the fence.
I didn't want to like it, but I liked it.
Yeah, of course you did. And you're liking this too.
I'm not liking it.
Nah,
Yeah,
I don't
Mr.
even know
I'm not
what
going to
the
play the
premise
whole
of
thing.
this
they're just flying.
You never heard, you don't know the premise of Top Gun?
No, I don't really want to.
It's about top fighter pilots, and it's true. In the Air Force, if you're a top like pilot, you go to this school where you can be the top gun. That's the top of the line
that's
fucking
nice.
Air Force, and you have to get through this class. And in the first one, Tom Cruise comes in with his buddy Goose as his co-pilot, and then there's this guy Iceman who's like
Spoiler
a prick.
alert.
Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen it.
30
And
years
Iceman
later.
and Tom Cruise do a lot of butt sex. No, I'm just kidding. But that doesn't actually happen. But they do.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. They do have it implied, but no, I mean it's just about it's just about the Air Force, dude, and what it takes to
It
be
looks
great at it.
boring. Horrible trailer.
Make your own decisions at home. Don't let any of us over here at Today in Millenia influence your movie decisions, because I don't know what we know and what we don't.
Snooze fest is what I call it.
Snooze fest. All right, I'm with it. Everybody else is nah. What's next?
Alright, next. Gender reveals. With it
Nah.
or nah?
Nah, and let me tell you something. Actually, as a matter of fact, I was talking to Miss Jessica Irish the other day about this. I was like, I said I plan on having it. I was like, I think I'm gonna get married at 45 to someone who's like 25. That's normal these days. And she's like, yeah, but if you have a baby, then the thing is, you're gonna be like 90 when the thing is like it's just having his own family. Not 90, but I'll be like in my 70s by the time he's having his own family.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's a pretty good point. Then I was like, all right, so maybe like 35. I was like, I asked her though, I'm like, did you do one of these gender reveals? And she was like, I think she did do it. She said, no. I'm not sure if she said yes or no.
I don't think she did.
But I remember she's cracking up because I was like, I'm not doing that. And she's like, you don't want to know what the baby? I'm like, I want to know, but I'm not hitting some silly freaking golf ball that blows out a blue color so everybody can dance around. So my answer to that is nah, because I feel like we already put enough on display these days. I don't care. This is the thing about social media. I'm gonna let everybody in on a little secret here. When I'm slinging through Facebook like this, it's filled with 99% of stuff that I don't care. I don't care that you passed your physics final. I don't care that you just got a new job. I don't care that your baby's gonna be a boy. I don't care that I don't care. People who care that you got engaged, you should have their phone number. And if you do not, they don't care. I think that's a very simple way to put it. And so gender reveals, yeah, whatever, but get off my timeline about it. Get off my freaking feed. I don't need to see
I don't
it.
have to go to a party.
No, I'm not going to a party. Is there alcohol?
Yeah, no.
I mean, if there's alcohol, I'll go. But I mean, if it's a fun party,
If I have to bring you a gift, don't invite me.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not bringing you a gift to know what it is, and then bringing you a gift when it's actually born.
Right, like then the baby shower happens. And
Yeah,
then
like it just
a
doesn't.
lot.
It doesn't even make any sense. So my answer is nah. What do you think?
I agree. Nah.
Quite controversial,
I know.
Miss Maheen, on the nah.
It's just like
We're gonna hold you against this, and Chris, if you want to send in an email and say if you're with it or not, maybe because I can see Chris being like, screw you guys, I'm hitting a baseball filled with blue jelly or
There's
whatever they
no
do.
point of that. Like I feel like it's so excessive. But what I do feel like what's smart is that people who have event planning companies are killing it off of things like this.
They're making a
Such a good business.
Anything you can market and pump, and maybe I'll change my mind there. I mean, if people are making money off it, then I guess it is what it is. There's a market for everything.
It's just a made-up event, though.
Oh, it's completely made up. Yeah.
And I will say this because I agree with not doing a whole ass event for a gender reveal, but if you want to like announce it at a family function, everyone's already gathered together, cool. Tell everybody what your baby is.
Yeah.
Do it up.
Or don't.
Or don't.
Just text your mom, dude. Yeah, we're having a boy. Like I don't understand why. Like who gives a shit? Like nobody on your Instagram gives a shit at all. I'm telling you, nobody does. And most people just don't really care. So it becomes a thing where it's just like you care. So you're gonna throw a party and you're gonna post it all over the place. And I think it's ridiculous. And maybe it's a little negative for me to say, but yeah, I think it's ridiculous. What about you?
I'm half and half.
You're half and half.
I don't think you should have the party. I don't think you should do the whole gender reveal. I think you should do the gender reveal when the thing is born, and then
it's a boy. They've always done
comes
that.
out.
For sure.
It's a boy, but you just post it now. So look at that hog. That's a boy.
Gender reveal just comes down to a naked picture of the baby when he comes out. So he's half with it as long as people just start posting full on naked pictures of their baby's hammer and their lack of.
Or their lack of.
Yeah. So gender reveals, no, I'm not with it. Never
But
happened.
the thing is, these things are becoming more and more dangerous. So check this out.
Oh God.
These people have
I seen some kid get
an
shot in the dick.
explosion.
What?
Yeah, I seen some kid went to do this thing and it like popped off and shot him in the dick, and he quickly grabbed it from his stupid girlfriend who's gonna do it with the baby in her stomach.
Wow.
Yeah, he's like, no. It's like one of those like rocket powered confetti sticks.
Yeah.
So he goes and pulls it and it shoots backwards, hits him in the dick. So he's like, oh. Then he quickly he realized like stop and his girl's like playing with it, and he grabbed it out of her hand like, dude, you're gonna kill our fucking baby. You just killed the rest of our babies. Now you're gonna kill the actual only one we can make. So good job.
Jesus.
So where does this go?
Well, these people in Iowa had one where they wanted to make a small explosion, pink smoke or blue smoke or whatever. Instead of getting something that's not as explosive, they get gunpowder and basically make a pipe bomb.
Why would they do that?
They basically
Because they're in
didn't
Iowa.
know. I mean, yeah, they're in Iowa.
I'm doing it again. I'm sorry.
Yeah. The thing explodes, hits this lady in the head, and she's done.
My God.
Dies because of your baby gender reveal.
Not working.
Hold on. Play this clip.
Of an explosion. A gender reveal announcement resulted in an explosion which caused a flying piece of debris to strike the victim. A 56-year-old woman was pronounced dead at the scene.
Nuts.
It's
It
horrible.
did not take long for word to spread through Knoxville. We spoke with people on the town square.
I'm sure no one thought that this could end tragically.
I
Who
did.
would have thought?
Gary
Who would have thought?
Roseman.
Who would have
If you
thought
made a pipe bomb,
making a pipe bomb filled with what was it, a girl or a boy?
they don't even
They
know.
don't even
Who
know.
cares?
Nobody found out because Grandma caught a piece of shrapnel to the dome piece and she's never coming back. So we just create. It's full circle there too, I guess. We're just gonna create and destroy at the same time.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody was out to get Grandma. And it was just
Maybe,
like,
yeah.
this is a good chance.
Grandma, stand right there. I want you
Stand
to be
right
the
there.
first one
Let's
to
blow
know.
you up with a pipe bomb. It's a complete side note. Nobody was revealing genders, but I remember we used to make chlorine bombs in the woods by these by the jumps that we used to do on our BMX bikes, and fucking dude, there's one kid took one right off his gut because like you would so basically a chlorine bomb. I don't remember the second.
I don't know if we should tell people how to make that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you how to make it, but it involved chlorine in a plastic bottle, and there is a second ingredient that I don't even remember, and I don't want anyone to know either. But you shake it up,
Positive
and then
attitude juice.
boom, it just blows off. And I remember a kid caught one right off the gut. right off the thing. Oh yeah, it was awful, dude.
Horrible.
Awful.
There was another
Roll
gender
woods,
reveal.
baby. Good time. First time I ever smelled pot. I thought it was terrible. I was like, oh my god, this is horrible, dude. Like, what is this kid doing? It's crazy.
Well, listen, there's another gender reveal in Arizona where this dude and his buddy, who's a border patrolman,
Mm-hmm.
they make this box filled with explosives to pink or blue smoke or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and they shoot it with a shotgun. It's supposed to blow up. The damn thing does blow up. Arizona's super dry during that time of year, and starts a 42,000 acre fire.
What?
What?
Burns down this whole area of land.
All right. So what we're learning here, guys, is that the common person can't be trusted with a gender reveal party.
Jesus.
They're obviously going to take it to the next level, and they're obviously going to put people's lives in danger, and they're obviously they can't handle it.
Let's just
We
not-
as Americans can't handle it. And why do I assume no one else is doing this other than us? I know they're not. They're not freaking gender
look at it.
revealing anywhere else.
A gunshot at a gender reveal party sparked an $8 million fine.
They
The
charge.
target packed
He has to
with
do 5
balloons
years
and an
probation,
explosive
$8 million
powder
fine.
ignited the blaze.
$8 million. He's got to pay for everything.
He's screwed for the rest of his life.
Fired his rifle. It took 600
All right. So
firefighters weeks to
nah.
Nah,
Oh, yeah,
just
for
straight
sure.
up nah.
Now, straight up, nah. Just don't do it. Stay safe out there, people. Have your babies. It's hard enough to have a baby. It's a miracle when it happens to begin with. We don't need to kill grandma along the way.
Oh my god, get away from
Look
the
at this
front of
guy.
the car. I don't want to do this. I don't want
Look
to
at
do
this
this. I
guy.
don't want to do this.
Just wait, he's got rubber. He's got blue
I
wheels
don't
or
see it.
something.
I don't know, probably like
What is happening?
they spray. No, it's just going.
Okay.
It's just going.
Alright.
This just is what it is.
Look, get away from
Look,
it.
look, look.
It's pretty
He
cool.
keeps
out.
going, he keeps going.
I don't want to see.
Boom! Car catches fire.
Dude.
What a waste of a Beamer.
Just what a waste.
All right,
of
so this
a-
is clearly happening on the regular. So the answer's going to be nah.
Nah. Plenty
Yeah.
of examples for nah.
Yeah, no.
Or just a balloon with confetti in it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, yeah.
If you're gonna do
In
it.
your house.
Stay away from explosives
No
and fire.
smoke. Don't hurt the environment anymore.
Yeah, or just get like my idea was better. I was a golf ball. Just put golf
Just a
ball.
golf ball.
Like a glass golf
Just
ball.
show your baby.
A glass golf ball that has like blue or pink in it. And
Might
then
take
it
That's
explodes.
maybe? I
But
don't
I'll
know.
make contact. I see some of these idiots do the baseball one. They freaking miss the
And
thing
they
and
miss,
hits the
yeah.
ground. Like that's why they should do golf or put it on a tee. If you have no athletic ability, put the goddamn thing on a tee. Tee it up, swing and miss. We can edit the video and at least it'll look better. Don't take a soft toss from grandpa if you can't even swing a bat up your shoulder. And you can tell sometimes with these grandpas like. I knew that was gonna happen. I remember playing with this kid 10 years ago. I knew he wasn't gonna hit it then. Jeez Louise, you non-athletic idiot. How did you end up part of me?
Alright. Well, our next topic is douchebag of the day.
Douchebag of the day.
Yeah.
This is a new one. You can't
Oh,
name it that.
yes.
Well, we'll name it something else.
You just stole Charlamagne's shit, bro.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, okay. But we'll name it something else.
We'll
But
name it
basically,
something else.
it's a weekly podcast anyway. So I mean, asshole of the week. Or
Asshole of
whatever.
the week, maybe. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
You know what's
So-
funny? Bob Maneri has one. He goes, the shitbag titty fuck of the week. The shitbag titty fuck of the week goes to, and he gives it to a different football player every week.
Asshole of the
It's
week.
awesome.
Maybe we'll come up with a creative name. like
Yeah.
that.
So, but whatever
Um,
this is
So
our
there's a
douchebag.
school resource officer in North Carolina body slams this child. They're just walking together down the hallway. Boom!
Whoa, why? Kid said something to him?
I guess twice, and then drags him down. Now, when I heard this story, I was just like, you know, some of these high school kids are assholes.
Yeah,
And
they are,
some of
but-
them deserve a little body slam or two.
How
I've
old's
seen
that
these
kid?
things. This kid looks like he's
9?
6th grade, maybe.
I mean, it's
fifth
just a
grade.
matter of you just don't do. It's
What's
the
the
same.
middle school age?
It's
It's
like-
like to middle school.
Like in middle school. Middle school is no
Ooh.
older than 13. I mean, at 13, I mean, some
It's
kids
very
will
small
come
child.
in. You do
I
that to
don't
me,
like
somebody
it.
come tag you up real quick.
For
I mean,
sure,
that's what it
right?
comes. If I was that kid's father, I'd be at the school the next day and hand to hand whoop his ass. I'm not suing nobody. We're not going to the police.
He's fired.
I'm just whooping your
For
ass
sure he's
up and
fired.
down them holes
For
in
sure.
front of every student,
Without a doubt.
and then
That
I'm
kid-
walking out.
That kid is traumatized. That kid
Forever.
is absolutely traumatized.
Nah, he's good.
He's
Fuck that
He's
asshole, dude.
scratching 5 little kids.
They used to slam me
Little
around too.
child.
It's not a big deal. But it's 2019. You can't do that anymore. You know what I
You
mean?
can't. No, you shouldn't.
Can't do that
You
anymore.
can't do that.
Now, let me ask you a question. What do you think this kid was saying to him?
I don't know.
If I call him a fat, stupid piece of shit, right? Still
Probably,
funny.
Like, he slammed him so hard. What does a child have to say to a grown ass man? Then he yells at him while he's on the ground.
Yeah.
What does a child have to say to get you that mad?
I just don't know how you feel good about yourself for doing some shit like that. That's the exact reason why, like, we don't not hit women because we're trying to have sex with them. We don't hit women because they're built physically a little bit smaller. Like, this is why they make that rule. You don't hit children because they're just not physically capable. Yeah, like, you don't hit people you can lift off of the ground and slam back onto the ground. Like, you just don't do that.
Yeah.
Even, like, gigantic people, they don't really do that. Like, if the little guy starts with a big giant
That's
guy,
why there's weight.
yeah, they have
There's
weight classes and stuff. So I mean, like, if you're outmatching somebody by that much, I just don't think there's any reason to inflict that kind of physical force. You know, you want to yoke them up, you want to shove them against the locker. Yeah, you little shit, don't talk to me like that. I mean, that's one thing. I mean, you'll probably still go to jail. It's 2019. Parents are freaking real soft these days. But
I guess if he's like, well, if I'm gonna go to jail for shaking him or for slamming him, let me
Shaking
just
him.
slam him.
yeah, but you're gonna go to the, like, I don't know, my kid, you're gonna go to the morgue for that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you would have pushed him up against the thing, I would have let you still live. I would have been like, that kid's probably an asshole.
I feel like this guy's never been punched in the face.
No, never. And that's what I mean. Somebody just needs to come through, pick you up, slam you on the ground, make you feel helpless, and you'll realize how bad it is. And you know what? That kid looks tough as nails. If you keep playing this video, watch. He ain't slouching on the ground. Watch. Like somebody who's really scared, after it's all said and done, they would have been trying to just stay away from him. You know what I mean? Like pulling themselves down on the ground. He takes both slams, grabs at the guy's foot. When he stands him back up, watch, he walks on it. Oh, he drags him out of there.
Yo.
I thought he walked away with him.
I don't like
Oh, he probably gave him head trauma. That's CTE, dude.
Yeah.
I don't like
Kid didn't even get a chance to put on football pads to get CTE already. Yeah, whatever. Whoever that kid's dad is, just go whoop that guy's ass.
For sure.
Yeah. Whoop his ass. Cut him to a nub, maybe. I'm just kidding. Don't do the nub. Don't do the nub trick.
Don't do another thing.
I'll
But
teach you
yeah,
that nub trick, people, another time. But when it's worthy of it. This guy don't deserve the nub, but he deserves getting his ass whooped. Yeah. I mean, it's 2019, so I can't. I mean, yeah, I'm outraged, but they're gonna be worse than me. So people are gonna be much more offended and outraged than I am. Yeah.
I just
This
feel
guy's
bad.
never gonna step foot.
Oh
in
no, he
school
can't work
again,
anymore. He can't work anymore. I remember one time when I got into a bit of trouble as a kid. I was in front seat. I was supposed to be helping an officer find a fellow friend of mine, and I claimed I didn't know his name and I don't know who he is and blah blah blah. And he took out his flashlight and went to hit me with it, and I told him that I said, you hit me with that flashlight, you'll be lucky to do security in Toledo when I'm finished with that. And I really knew nobody, but let me tell you, that fucking threat worked well. He put that flashlight right back on his clip and didn't say a word about it after that. Yeah. But that feeling of helplessness is rough. Like, you know, and if you get arrested, I mean, you did something wrong. Like, you kind of deserve it a little bit more. I always say, like, blood terrifies me because one of our coworkers here is like an corrections officer, and I mean, they'll put the gloves on. I mean, I've got gloves. They put the gloves on, and then they can't put marks on you, and oh my god, they pummel people. But these people are. You know, criminals. This is a middle school kid. I mean, what the hell could he possibly have done? And he's walking on his own. I mean, he's going with him. He's not like, if you look at the beginning of the video, he's not like fighting with him. Yeah, I mean, what could he
But what's the
say? Like, what
worst
could he
this
say?
child could be saying?
Maybe he's saying something about
His wife?
This guy's
Right?
wife probably
Yeah.
just don't fuck him, or he doesn't have one, or whatever.
He's an
Something
incel.
wrong
But
with
that's
him. He's
the
a fucking
worst that could
incelibate.
possibly be coming out of this child's mouth.
involuntary celibate. He probably called him an involuntary celibate.
Yeah, there's a couple things security don't like. If you tell them they don't make any money, they don't like that either. I mean, tell them they're
Money.
broke. Yeah, stuff like that.
That kid could probably roast somebody like no tomorrow.
He's probably good at
He's
it.
probably super
Probably
good.
me
To
10
get
years
someone
ago.
that mad,
Yeah.
yeah.
I used to feel pretty mad too when I was that young, so I definitely get it.
I can see that.
But you slam me, I wouldn't have told my dad. You would have got we used to call it the P down, beat down. That's
The
what would
beat
happen
down,
the next
beat
day.
down.
You have to leave work eventually. At some point, you have to go back to your house. So we're gonna figure this one out. I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting very long.
My
But,
guess
but
is
these
that this
days,
cop doesn't
you know, the parents will all be against it. This kid will probably end up making a couple dollars off this. So
Oh, for sure.
yeah, 100%. His
Off
his
the
family will
school
make
or
a
the
couple
police
bucks.
department or somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that guy is a little bit nutty.
Thanks for the check, officer.
Thanks for the check, officer. Thanks for being the asshole of the week. I'm hungry, baby.
And then if you guys want, we could get into what's happening in our own neighborhood.
That's part of in my opinion, or are you just not?
In my opinion, yeah.
Oh yeah, all right. So let's get started with in my opinion, and we're like.
And so the topic
Close on time.
What topic we're going to touch on, in my opinion, is going to be on New York State about to approve the bill. They haven't approved it yet, but they're about to approve the bill, or did they? They passed it?
Yeah, they passed it.
Oh, they passed it. It's already done.
Oh, they were lining up outside the DMV today.
Yeah, they're on allowing undocumented immigrants to get a driver's license.
I will say the first thing I said about this to Alexio immediately was I'm going down there I'm going to make up some documents and I'm going down there to get a second license, 100%. You know, Pedro Montoya, that's me.
Where are you from?
Yeah, like I'm going to make my own.
I just came here from
Honduras, man. It's my new favorite place.
Maybe Cuba would be probably better.
Pedro Montoya from Honduras. Here's my papers, and I just need a license.
Don't choose Honduras.
Nah, I'll choose somewhere though. But I don't think it's a good idea. I might go down there. So like, it depends on the traffic violation. If it's like reckless driving or something, I'll flip Pedro's there. Yeah. And if it's something like minor, I'll give mine. So I don't get in trouble for that. But no, I think it's
so funny.
It's so
and anybody could do this. This is what's a little bit crazy. I looked into it because I was like super excited at first. I was like, I could hold a fake person, but God forbid, I gotta get out of here or something. But you actually can't. You cannot use it to as identification. It doesn't count for anything. You can't sign up for a bank account with it. You can't do anything with it. It's basically, it seems to me like a safety precaution, almost as if, immigrants from Latin America are good, man. They get on in here, they get started, they get a job, they get to drive in, they figure it all out. So when I heard a woman speak about it, and listen, I grew up in an area with a lot of that and a lot of issues with it, and I'm sure people are up in arms, maybe some of them, but for me, just listen to what the woman said. She said, it'd just be nice to be able to drive around without that fear, which means, this is not a thing to make, this is not going to force more people into America. This is not going to create much different issues going on other than the fact that now these people can drive the way they're supposed to.
Can you get car insurance?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not. No. I don't think so. Actually, I think someone else has to register and insure the car. What's the point of it? It's to make sure that people aren't coming. I mean, have you ever been to any of these places where they drive? There's like dirt roads. They don't have the same street laws as us. Like it's like in China. Yeah. If you drive in China, it's crazy.
But that's my point of the insurance is that I live in Brentwood, and some of these motherfuckers don't even know what a stop sign is.
Yeah, well, that's the point. Now they will. They have to take a written test like the rest of us did when we were 16. They have to take a driver's test like everyone else did. It's just a way to kind of educate people on driving, I think, and just keep the roads a little safer. I don't think it's this whole thing where now you can sneak your way into this, that, and the other thing. And I'm not 100% sure. It'll come up, I guess, in the beginning of next week. I'll try to check it out and research it, but I don't think you can get insurance or registration from it. So it would kind of have to be like, hey, you just came to visit me, right? I'm already a citizen. You're working on citizenship. Instead of having you out there driving around like you're still in Guadalajara and there's no street signs, we now can teach you without you being in fear of getting thrown out of the country or whatever. You come in, it's anonymous. You give your name, just proof of, I think you need proof of age, proof of
where you from?
Proof of address. You need a bill that comes to you. Which all this stuff you can do. Like you can get a cable bill. You don't need a social security number. You don't need proof of anything. So people have a lot of this stuff. It's just a way I think for them to get better trained on the road rules around here, and especially in Long Island's first place they launched it. Right, it's a local thing. Yeah. So we have a pretty big. There's a pretty big Spanish population here on just this part of Long Island, especially eastern Long Island, Patchogue, Riverhead, those areas, Brentwood, where you're from Bayshore. So even when people are coming from other countries just to visit their family and working on this green card situation or this full citizenship, whatever you're going to do, whatever you're working on, at least you're safe on the roads because they're going to drive anyways. They need to get around. You need to make it by. And listen, that's my old classic favorite way to get on into America. Fucking illegally and then earn it the hard way. And that's one thing about, that I always commend Latin America for. They come in, they don't make no qualms. They know if they get caught, they get thrown out. Like they don't come into the country and then be like, why can't we have like a lot of these cultures come in, they think they deserve something. But what I've noticed from any person that I've ever met that came in illegally, they work really hard to get legal.
I think that's true. Most immigrants.
We'll see. I don't know. I beg to differ. But they work hard to get the citizenship, and so I guess on their way there, at least they could drive safely.
Yeah.
I think that's really what the whole point of it is. But I'll be getting my own, you know. I don't know what name I'm going to go with yet, but...
Go with Cuba for sure.
But I'll be
Yeah.
Cuba.
Cuba, or maybe...
Because I could be Cuban,
You
kind
could
of.
be
I
Cuban,
can't
for
be
sure you
fucking
can.
Honduran.
Maybe
Al Pacino.
Brazilian, where nobody... Because you don't want to go there and then the person on the front desk speaks Spanish. You're fucked. You want to be maybe from a country that don't speak
Okay,
Spanish, but
Russian.
it's still Latin
I
American.
am licensed license. Hello. How are you? Oh, you only speak Spanish? Okay, I
So
want
good at
license.
that.
I would like license today.
I don't think
It's a little German.
So
It's a
good.
little
It's a little
German, to be
German,
honest.
for sure.
It's a little German,
I don't
to be
think you hang around enough with Russians.
Maybe
I don't know many Russians, to be honest with you. But,
Yeah, I'm just happy I don't have to go to the DMV because I'm sure those lines are.
oh my
Ridiculous.
God! Remember at the DMV was through the freaking roof, wrapped around the building, dude. People just want to get these licenses, and they have to take a written permit test first. You have to pass the written test and everything. And but I don't hate where it's going. Listen, it's America. If you can sneak your way in here and somehow trick us that you're legal, then fine. If you get caught midway through the process, though, we got to get rid of you. No, we know, Beanie, and we do too. Do we have any other topics for the day?
I think we should save the memes for next week because they're all holiday memes anyway.
Okay. All right, perfect. And we tried to shorten it up for you guys, so that's perfect. We tried to fit it in that 45-minute time window. I think we stretched a little bit. That first topic, though, we were glad we got to get into it and dive in a little bit. And so thanks for coming out. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for supporting.
Make sure that if you're going to watch it on YouTube, you hit the thumbs up button, because then it just looks like you just clicked it or whatever. Just hit it if you watched it. I mean, if you watched it, hopefully you liked it. If you didn't like it, you get the thumbs down one if you want. I'd rather you didn't, but if you want to, that's fine too. And then again, we're on iTunes and Spotify and wherever podcasts are sold. Other than that, I don't think I really have anything. We are going to try to get everyone in here and see if we can do a holiday episode. I know that he just kind of gave it away. Me and he were having some scheduling issues. So we will we'll get in here and whatever we have to do to give you guys a holiday episode. So we fit inside that 45-minute roughly time frame, and we'll be back next time. Thanks for joining us. Peace.